Today I'll be sharing 5 tips to help you raise bilingual children, and I hope that you find them helpful. Tip number 1, decide how you will raise bilingual children. The first part, deciding, is important because bilingual children rarely happen by accident. There are 3 main strategies that people use for raising bilingual children. The first strategy is called minority language at home. Now, when I say minority language, I mean the language that you don't hear as often out and about in the community. The language that you hear most often in a country is called the majority language. So a lot of experts caution against raising your children in a language that's not your first language. One of the reasons why is because our emotions are more closely tied to our first language, and parenting requires so much emotional communication as well as verbal. Another reason why experts recommend that you only speak your first language to your children is that it's really important for children to have at least one language that they speak really well. And if you only expose them to a language that you don't speak well, that can be a challenge to them. It can make it harder for them to learn a second language. Another popular method for raising bilingual children is called one person, one language, OPOL. In this method, you have different adults in the child's life who speak to the child exclusively in a specific language. This method can be very useful for families that want multilingual children. The last strategy that I'd like to discuss is called time and place. In this strategy, you choose a context where you will speak the minority language exclusively. Whichever one of these models you want to follow, think through what would work best for your family, and then do your best to stick with it. Regardless of which strategy you use for teaching the minority language, make sure that you're creating a need for the language. Your child needs to know that this language is important, that it's not an imaginary language made up by their parents, that this is a language spoken by other people in the world, and that they need to be able to survive. My second tip is to look for resources to give your child the highest possible exposure to the minority language. 2 resources that have been super helpful to a lot of parents who are raising bilingual children are books and apps aimed at home communication. There are people who have their masters that know how to talk about all sorts of things in English, but don't necessarily know how to teach a child to tie his shoes in English. Build a community of support. First of all, have a strong team with your partner, with the other adults in your children's lives. I am so thankful for my husband, who started learning Spanish when he was 13 and has joined me in this adventure and is using Spanish quite a bit with the children, even if he does mix in some English from time to time. It's great to meet people in your community who speak the language that you're trying to teach your children. It's also nice to find some communities online, and so I'd like to name a few communities that have really helped me a lot. My 5th suggestion is to find strategies for getting back on track if you find yourself losing your focus or not meeting your goals. This one's so important because raising bilingual children isn't easy, and sometimes we feel like we're not succeeding and we might want to give up. Their parent shared a beautiful story where she was trying to teach her daughter Swedish, and her daughter did not want to speak Swedish with her. One day her mom brought home a kitten, and she said to her daughter, "Honey, this kitten is just a little bit homesick, but this kitten doesn't speak English. So I'm going to ask you, can you talk to her in Swedish? It'll help her feel so much more welcome, and it'll help her feel a little bit better since she's so homesick." The daughter was like, "Oh, okay, I can speak Swedish to the kitty." As the weeks went by, the daughter got more comfortable with Swedish again and eventually opened up to speaking to her mom in Swedish. Reach out to your community if you're feeling discouraged and get that encouragement, and then find a creative way to get your kids to start speaking the minority language again. Well, those are my 5 suggestions for raising a bilingual family. I believe that raising bilingual children helps create harmony between different cultures, and that's something pretty amazing.